I think it's been a marathon of interesting conversations all around the product owner role. And we all agree the product owner role is very critical, strategic, and important to the delivery of value to all organizations. And if you're working in the product owner role, you know how challenging it is to serve as a product owner, working across the operational team, working with the development team, and also working upwards because you are it's more of a triangle. You're speaking to the leadership team, the directors, and making sure that you're aligning with the strategy that the organization is talking about. You also coming down to the operations, making sure that that conversation is being had when the product is goes live and is in use. As well, the development team, you need to keep them moving constantly. My conversation will be aligning that strategy, and I'll touch a little bit on operations, but I think my colleagues have done a great job on talking about the product owner role, talking about data and product owner, and I would like to tell them I will focus on the area of strategy. So, as a product owner, constantly you are in an organization where you are off always it's all about, am I delivering value? Am I delivering towards profit? If you're in a charity, you're looking at how sustainable can you be as an organization. I've trained charities, and the big question here is, are we going to be around in the next 3 months? And how much more the pandemic has made most organizations rethink about their existence as an organization. So currently, if you were employed as a product owner, having a good understanding of Andrew's slides, being a product owner in a large organization, or coming in as a product owner working in a small organization, the conversation is no different. We need to make profit. We need to stay sustainable. And we need to constantly answer to the going concern of our stakeholders or shareholders. So whether in a large or small organization, it's always critical to answer to the bottom line. Whether we're delivering value to the customer or to the internal customer or external customer, we are focused on profit, sustainability, and finally delivering to the stakeholders. Two areas that would help us take a look at this will be strategy planning and strategy execution. I'll focus on these two key areas and I'll drive home some of the artifacts, events that would help you with these two areas. When we talk about strategy planning, is it all about SWOT analysis? I think a lot of the folks who've done MBA would say, William, strategy planning is all about SWOT analysis. There's more to it. Is it the right time to start thinking about our strategy? And if we have to start thinking about our strategy now, what should we be doing? Should we look at the current operating model and what should be our target operating model? Let's form a team to help us put together our strategy. And it's an iterative process. It's not a one-time activity. The classical moment in the, let's say, pre-2000s was, let's get a strategy, more like the military, let's attack, and hopefully our strategy works. But now it's always an iterative activity and it's not a one-time activity. So we want to understand first our internal environment. When I mean our internal environment, when looking at strategy, we can use tools like our MOST analysis or our VV MOST. What's our vision? What's our values? What's our mission? What's our objectives as an organization? And then what is our current tactics? The tactics would define how we would be able to execute our strategy. And if we understand those elements, the vision, the values, the mission, the objectives, the strategy, and the current tactics, if they are favorable and everyone in the organization can align to them, then those are key strengths for us as an organization. But if you speak to one or two or three people and you ask them, what's the current mission of the organization is, and they start wondering what the real mission, or you ask someone, what's the current values of the organization, and they really can't tell you, then that vision, that mission statement is questionable. It becomes a weakness to the organization. Secondly, as well, to understand our organization from an internal perspective, we could carry out a resource audit. And when we're looking at a resource audit, we are looking at all the infrastructure. We're also looking at our current resources, the teams we have. We're looking at our knowledge. And also, we could look at our finances. If they are all in the positive area where our finances are in the green, okay, we have some monies in the bank, we've got some reserve. In terms of staff, we've got the right people, they are motivated, they are willing to learn, then those are all strengths to the organization. Alternatively, when there are no funds in the bank and we are in the red, nearing bankruptcy, everyone will be wary of such an organization. Or we don't have dedicated staff who will be willing and motivated to work. All those could be considered as weaknesses for our organization. So we've just looked at two tools to analyze our internal organization. We've looked at the VV most, and we've also looked at the resource audit. When we want to look at it from an external perspective, a very common technique that most of you would remember will be pestle analysis. What's our political, what's our economic, what's our social, what's our technological, what's our legal, and what's our... And when we take a look at all those factors, political, in the current climate, we know that there's so much impact on COVID on most political leaders. So it's either they are driving the agenda properly or not. And if they are not driving the agenda, then that is a threat to us as an organization. But what if COVID has enabled most organizations to get in touch with a lot of customers digitally? Technologically, it becomes an opportunity that we can exploit. So a SWOT analysis as part of our strategy planning can enable us understand our internal and our external environment. When we spend time researching into that, that can lead us into understanding whom we are serving. So as an organization, we've conducted our SWOT analysis, we've understood our internal, external, we've done more analysis on who our customer is. We also now have to focus on our internal organization. What's our value stream? Whom does it deliver it to? Does it deliver it to our internal customer, or does it deliver it to our external customer? All the work we've done with the SWOT analysis should help us identify all these key elements. So in terms of our internal customers, our internal members of staff, how are we serving them? When we deliver a new product to them, we need to make sure that everyone has got the right skills to use it. They can support our external customers, and they can also use it effectively to help us drive value to the organization. In terms of our external customers, I hope we'll all be putting our hands in our pocket now and be checking out a mobile phone. And I'm sure it won't be Nokia. Most of you would have either an iPhone or you would have a Samsung. Yep. If you don't serve your external customers properly, over time, you'll be out of the market. And we've got the likes like Kodak and many other organizations who've not served their external customers properly because they've not changed with the time, or they've not changed with the external customers' needs. So think of your internal customers when you're conducting your strategy activities. Think of your external customers as well when you are conducting your strategy activities. But when we talk about strategy, for the product owner, here is a laundry list of strategies that the product owner has to take a look at. They need to look at the corporate strategy, organizational strategy, the financial strategy, market strategy, people strategy, and the list goes on. All these strategies form part of the organization. And Personally, I think as a product owner, when you spend time helping the organization producing all of this, you would not be able to deliver value to your customers. So there are some strategies that we as product owners or product managers or part of the product management team will focus on. And I will share those list of strategies. But as a big organizations, here are a laundry list of strategies we could find in a big organization. And how does strategy help us as an organization? Here's a list of key strategic quotes I found on Google. It says strategy is a choice. Strategy means saying no to set strategy meets a goal if it's working, and if a strategy meets a target, it's a success. Or strategy is a pattern in a stream of decisions. So that strategy means a lot to many people. But as a product owner and a product management team, so from a product management perspective, you need to have a good understanding of your product strategy. What product are we delivering? Who is our customer? And how are we serving them? We also need, if it's a service as well, how are we delivering our service? And if we are serving a particular group of customers, what will be the key deliverables? What will be our key KPIs? So, in terms of the product owner, all these forms of strategies are the key strategies that you would need. But that would also be things like, let's look at it from our customers. Do we have internal customers or do we have external customers? If we have external customers, then this list really are things that you have to consider. What's your product strategy? What's your service strategy? What's your pricing strategy? As well, what is your growth strategy? If you mean to grow as an organization or as a product, you need to understand where the product is. So if we introduce a product to the market, it starts off as a new product. And in the Boston metrics, we'll say it's a wildcat. If the product becomes successful, then it's a star and then it becomes a cash cow before it declines. And those are key things that you, the product owner, will be looking at for the product whilst the product is in the market and you're constantly taking feedback from the product. So understanding your product life cycle from when it's an idea to when it's in the market are some of the things that as a product owner who has external customers, they are things that you'll be focusing on. And when you drive all of this, what you tend to have is a well-oiled, well-functioning team and organization. You've got your strategy, you've got the leaders well aligned, you're taking action, management, which is middle management and senior management, all understand the goals and the plans have been put in place, and you are driving a well-oiled machine. But developing strategies alone does not mean you'll be successful. We've had so many organizations develop a well-planned strategy by bringing in a consultancy who would help them derive some of the strategic documents. I'll talk about some of the strategic documents. And when you have all the strategic documents, does that mean you'll be successful? In SAFE, we talk about such strategic documents in the portfolio layer. But as a product owner, product manager in an organization, your focus is to make sure that there's that clean, clear alignment with strategy and delivery. So next, let's touch on strategy execution. And with strategy execution, it's when we've developed the strategy and it's now time to deliver. Most people will say, William, we've got a beautiful strategy. It's 100-page documents. How many people will read a 100-page document? Or we've got a strategy. It's only with senior management, and it's only senior management who can help us understand the strategy. And I've also been to organizations where you ask product owners, product managers, have you come across the organizational strategy? William, that big fat document. How, if I spend time reading it, I'm not sure I'll be able to serve the internal or external customer and continuously deliver value. So a question will be, how do we make sure that our strategic outcomes helps the teams to engage? I'll touch on these three areas: alignment with strategy, prioritization to deliver strategy, and feedback to help us deliver value. When it comes to alignment with strategy, documents that I've encouraged teams and portfolio teams to use are the Balanced Business Scorecard, the Product Vision, and the Business Model Canvas. The Balanced Business Scorecard, the Product Vision, and the Business Model Canvas. So the Balanced Business Scorecard was developed by Kaplan and David Norton, and they spent some time talking about it as a performance measurement um, tool or model to help organizations. But in order for us to be able to apply it, they mentioned four domains on the Balanced Business Scorecard. We've got finance, customers, internal processes, and learning and growth. But how you put the Balanced Business Scorecard together is also a struggle for and a challenge for many organizations. So having used it for a while, I came across a template. I looked at it. At late, we made some changes to the template. We learned from it and we applied it over time. And it's something we go back to help us align our strategy discussions, which is our strategy planning, with our strategy execution. First, we talk about the vision. In terms of the vision, as an organization, you should be able to share your clear vision to all your stakeholders. If your vision can be shared to all your stakeholders, then everyone is able to align with the vision. And more than often, you have the vision on your laptops, or you have your vision on various organizational cards. But having the vision, sharing the vision, and aligning everyone to the vision is important. And this is at organizational level. Secondly, we need a clear mission statement as well. And with a Balanced Business Scorecard, you could do it as a 3-pager, 1-pager. It's far better than the 100-page, 200-page strategy documents we do see. So here you've got clearly your vision, your mission, and then you've got your values. So with a Balanced Business Scorecard, you summarize some of the key things in the 100-page document. And then we start talking about the themes. We're looking at finance, we're looking at customers, and then we're looking at internal processes. You kick off with your strategic priorities. And in SAFE, we call them the strategic themes. We want to increase revenue, and we want to be number one. We want to delight our customers. These strategic themes are linked to our objectives. We want to increase cash by XX amount. We want to increase revenue by XX amount. And then we will have critical success factors. Not everything is a critical success factor for organizations. We need to be sure. So if we know what our critical success factor is, we are able to focus on it in the next quarter or in the next program increment. So for our critical success factors, we will then go on to having KPIs for our critical success factors. And with the KPIs for our critical success factors, these are key things that we will measure as we go along. And so thank you, everyone. And it's a real pleasure to share on strategy planning and strategy execution